Selecting a real estate agent through the next 28 days, the next 14 days. Let's talk about it. Lisa Novak, Mark Novak with
Hello.
you. How
Good
are
evening.
you?
Good. We're good. Little bit of a rush one, and you've got us in our casuals tonight. But what we wanted to talk about was the market is absolutely crazy. We know we get a lot of agents on our Novak News. I'm interested to hear what's going on, guys, in your neck of the woods, because certainly in our neck of the woods on the northern beaches in usually sunny Sydney, Australia, it's just chaotic right now, Mark. It's not usually this chaotic, is it?
No, look, normally this time of year, people have had a raging, busy, normal year, and it seems like everything's compounded now to getting shit done. So
Yeah.
all the cafes are open full freight, all the a lot of large scale venues are open full freight, and at the moment, it's everyone's just trying to get stuff done. They're trying to get the purchasing, the selling, the renting,
Yeah.
the cafeing, the holidaying. Everyone's just trying to just force feed it now into the throat of life.
It's just been crazy, absolutely crazy. So what we wanted to talk about tonight was, if the property market is so crazy, why are agencies closing? Why are agents going on holidays for a couple of weeks over what is an unusually busy time of year? So normally we're starting to wind down, from about the 22nd, 23rd of December, and then it starts to wind up again about the second week of January. We actually thought it was going to start to wind down. Listings were starting to get sold really, really quickly and are continuing to do so. But myself as an agent, Mark, I've listed 5 properties in the last 48 hours, and an array of properties, so not just necessarily apartments but beautiful big luxury homes as well, and there are buyers out in abundance. It's crazy. So interested to hear, as I said, from those agents that are closing down. What are you seeing, guys? Are you seeing that it's quiet in your neck of the woods, or is it busy? And are you actually going to be like closing, like actually winding down for those 2-3 weeks over Christmas, New Year?
Do you know what? I always like if everyone's running north to run south. I think there's something really cool about that,
Yeah.
providing it's practical. And I think it's very counterintuitive to be buying, to be selling in this period. I
Yeah.
think it's counterintuitive. Naturally, you think, no, look, I'm not going to hit an auction campaign. I'm not going to put my property on the market now. But I would challenge that thought this Christmas. And we as an office have decided to stay open and operate every single day, except for the 2 public holidays. But
Yeah.
I think there's a real beauty in getting shit done at the moment, and because everyone's abstained so long the whole year from doing stuff. And if you're thinking of selling or you're thinking of renting your property, I reckon it's the next 10 days and the next 20 days is a beautiful period to hit
So
the
do I.
market.
So do I. So buyer demand is at an all-time high at the moment.
Fact.
Absolute fact. Buyer demand is at an
Yeah.
all-time high. The sellers that have just brought their listings on with me, with us as an agency, they will most likely be sold within the next week or so. I'm feeling very confident about that.
Not just sold, but they're going to mint it.
I think so too.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of properties that are coming off the market, as I said, it's intuitive for sellers to remove their property off the market for the next 4 weeks. It's intuitive for real estate agents not to auction anything, because who's going to put a property to auction when you got 2 public holidays in between?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying auction your property, but I'm saying certainly keep it on the market or put it on the market if you want big money. Because if I'm a buyer, those emotions that are boiling on a buyer, they cannot be switched off. You give them more time in the holiday period, they're switched on even harder.
Yeah.
It's
So look, there's a whole lot of stuff that I actually want to discuss around this. So ordinarily, auction is generally what we see a lot in the marketplace. So a lot of people a lot of sellers, a lot of properties that I've been bringing on, they're like, what do we do? Do we take the property to auction? I'm not a massive auction agent. Obviously, I sell a lot pre-market. But, I'm saying, guys, if we need to put if we need to put the property to auction, there is actually still time to do that. No one says an auction campaign's got to be 3 or 4 weeks. So can I just give an example of a property that we had? I brought on in Camaray, actually, an out of area property that those vendors wanted me selling their property. They followed me on social media. They're going to be buying on the northern beaches. Now they said, look, we do a lot of auctions around this area. And I said, okay, great. Ordinarily, an auction campaign's 3 to 4 weeks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the property on the market. We're going to give it a really good guide. And if we get a lot of buyer interest, we can do what we call a snap auction.
Now, Camera is not your core area either.
Camera is not my core area, no. It is
8 suburbs away, 9 suburbs away.
So for those of you guys that don't know where Camera is, it's actually right near Mossman, Neutral Bay,
North Sydney,
Cremorne, those areas. Yeah, it's around North Sydney. It's just at the tip of the Harbour Bridge there. So in between the Wednesday and the Saturday, we had over 60 buyers come through the property, and we had a number of offers. Now, we ended up on the Saturday getting an offer that was heads and shoulders above all the other offers. So that sorted that situation out. However, if I continued to see offers all coming in at a similar level, we were actually prepped and ready to do what we call a snap auction, and that was going to take place this week, Mark.
Yep.
So, that's exactly what we were going to do. There's no rules around this, guys. A really good experienced agent will know what to do to get you the best price and will not let Christmas and New Year get in the way. I think that's the critical message here, is that there is such a low level of stock, and I'm hearing that right around Australia. I'm not just hearing that on the northern beaches.
Yeah.
And the buyer demand is through the roof.
Rural areas, city areas, it sounds like there's a real lack of stock, which is a great combo for capital growth.
It's a great problem to have if you're a seller. Okay, it's hard if you're out there and you're a buyer. And that's where you should be following us on our social media, because you will get to see them all first and potentially buy them pre-market as well. But, it is a brilliant time to be bringing your property on the market now. It is an unusual year. Usually Christmas and New Year will somewhat get in the way and we will start seeing it quieten down. It's not the case this year.
Now, if that's not your agent's attitude, wherever you are in Australia, my question is that in your interest that they're saying let's sell in February?
Yeah.
Or is that in the agent's interest? Because is the agent simply saying, look, I'm just going to hit the market later, let's hit it next year because it's not traditionally busy at this time every other year, but this isn't like every other year. So if they've got a holiday booked and they're going off the history of the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years, they might be compelled to say, "No, look, let's hit it in January or February." But I really do challenge the question, guys. If you are selling or if you are buying, I want you to have a good, long, hard think about that.
Because let's just apply common sense for a moment. Let's just take the whole real estate agent's perspective out of the equation for a moment, and let's just apply good old-fashioned common sense.
Yep.
No stock on the market.
Nope.
Buyers in abundance, literally throwing money.
Money's cheap.
Literally throwing. I've had buyers who have put offers on properties they haven't even seen.
Yep. Rare,
I had a beautiful multi-million-dollar property, and a buyer had put an offer on that site unseen.
Freaky shit. To buy a property, to spend $1 million or $2 million when you haven't seen it.
Close to 3.
But this season, it's okay. Why? Because everyone's Zooming, everyone's digital. Every other year,
it
was taboo. It was wrong to buy something sight unseen. Now people have this air or this confidence to make big decisions based upon their virtual or digital experience on a property. That's big.
I agree.
So they're seeing the videos, your videos where you're doing, I'm doing, our team's doing. They're seeing all the photos. They're seeing the floor plan. They're making a buy decision on that. That's crazy.
People are comfortable with that, People are more comfortable with video content than they've ever been before, because we had to get comfortable with it.
Yep.
That's the reality of it. What we are going to see, I can tell you right now, we see it every year, and I think we're actually going to see it. We're going to see huge amounts of stock coming on the market come January.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is people, and this is my opinion, this is what I'm seeing in my crystal ball, guys. People are going to sit around their Christmas table. They're going to be having their New Year's Eve dinners and New Year's Day lunches, and they're going to be saying, you know what? We're going to move up the North Coast. Stuff it. It's what we've always wanted to do. We're going to put the property on the market, and we're going to do what we want. Big decisions are made over that time of year.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a huge amount of stock coming to market.
Summarising your year and moving into a new year, big decisions are made.
Yeah, definitely. So, very, very interesting times at the moment. For those of you guys that have just tuned in, we're talking about why are agents going on holidays and why are agencies closing over that Christmas New Year period if the market is really this crazy, and who, where are they? Is that in the best interest of the buyer or the seller, or is that in the best interest of the agent? And listen, it's just this is a topic of conversation. We've all had a busy year, and everyone's in desperate need of time off. And kudos to you if you're doing that. But
Yeah.
the market is crazy out there.
And as a seller, you may have your agent that you've chosen
Yeah.
that wants to go into auction in the middle of January and is not available over the next 4 weeks. Give it to an agent that is.
Absolutely.
For 4 weeks and do like a pre-market campaign.
Yeah.
And give them that 4 weeks to absolutely optimize, absolutely capitalize on this bananas market, because you could have more competition entering the market when everyone else is entering the market. There's a great saying, to sell in isolation is better than to sell in competition, and there is going to be definitely more competition to sell your home in mid-February than there is right now.
Again, if we just apply common sense, I mean, I know for myself as an agent, with regards to how many appraisals, Mark, I've been doing on a daily basis, I'd say they're double.
Yep.
And they obviously then, hopefully they then transpire into listings in the new year. Can we just talk about from the top those people that are maybe considering or hadn't even considered the option of getting their property on the market right now? What are we now? The 12th? What is it now? The 15th of December. Okay, let's call it the 14th of December. I'm not even sure what the date is. 14th of December. Okay, guys, if you're a seller out there and you're thinking, I was tossing up whether or not to put my property on the market now or in the new year, because I've just signed up a property in Collaroy, and we had a phone conversation the other day, and she said, I'm not quite ready yet. And I said, listen, here's the plan. We're going to go pre-market now up until the end of the year. So we just dip our toes in, test the market now. Her property's not quite ready for market, but I said the market's crazy, not a lot of stock. So let's do pre-market now, our $0 marketing strategy.
Yep.
Dip your toes in, test the waters. I reckon she's going to be sold now. But in the event that she's not, we put the pause button on at the end of the year. She does the small amount of renovations that she wants to do, and then we relaunch out to those real estate portals in the new year.
You can do it with no address if you want.
Do it with no address, do it with no money.
No one knows, no money.
What about no marketing
address,
money?
Talk to the buyers out there, put it out there, put a silly number on it, people pay it, whopper, boom, bum, shakalaka.
Absolutely. So launch out now, plan A. Listen, I can tell you, if we were looking at putting our property on the market, over the next couple of months, there is not a hesitation in our mind that we would actually be getting the stock onto the market now with all those buyers out in the marketplace. Find the agent that's going to be working over that Christmas New Year period. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we are available and working every single day throughout the Christmas New Year period.
Another one, golden rule, don't stay out of the market. So if you're going to be getting back into the market, do not stay out of the market for longer than a couple of months. Golden rule, big mistake people make. They go to sleep for 6 months. Now, if the market has capital growth...
What if you've sold, you mean? If you've sold...
If you sell and you're out of that, and you
Yeah.
sell out and you go, you know what, if I buy something in July, August, whatever, I'm going to take my time. Guys, you've got to be really careful about this market because it's such a shifting market. If the market's moving 10% a year for let's be conservative and say 10%, right,
Yeah.
in the next 12 months. If the market's moving 10% on 50K, on 500,000, that's 50K. On $1 million, it's 100K. On 1.5, it's 150K.
Yeah.
That's 10 to 11, 12 grand a month that your market is moving. If you are out of that market, you are leaving a hell of a lot of money on the table. Be very,
I agree.
very careful.
Yeah, I do get a lot of sellers that say, look, we'll sell now while the market's at its peak, and then we'll wait and see what happens, if that market comes off. You've got to ask yourself the question, what if it doesn't? What if the market shifts upwards again, and then you've outpriced yourself? Look, it is volatile at the moment.
How many people were hedging against the property market through COVID? How many?
Oh,
Right now, if
look
you
at that speculation.
right, if
Yeah,
you, I can't tell you the amount of conversations we had of people that were punting against the property market
yeah.
through the depths and the pain of COVID, and they have cost themselves in excess of 50 grand on a lower price property, and 100 grand on a high or more
Yeah.
on a medium price property. So definitely, I wouldn't be betting against the market at the
No,
moment.
definitely not. Buy, sell, same market, particularly when it's
Buy
very
now,
volatile like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And financing, guys, that's another quick tip.
Yeah.
If you can get some funding in place, do it now. Because it takes a long time. So where you used to get an approval in 5 business days, sometimes it can take 5 weeks. So start talking to your broker in the next week or two, and yeah,
So
steamroll through there.
that's the other tip. If you are thinking of selling or buying during this Christmas New Year period, prep up your mortgage broker, prep up your
Lube
solicitor,
them up, lube them up.
okay, and make sure that you have these guys available and working for you
Yeah.
throughout that Christmas New Year period. If
Oh,
you
that's a
don't,
good one.
if you
That's a good
don't,
one.
please reach out to us because we have got the
Yes,
guys that will work
yes,
for you.
yes,
Okay, we've done that hard work for you. If you need someone who can prepare a contract of sale,
yes.
who can go over a contract of sale for you, reach out to us. As we mentioned, we're available and working right throughout that Christmas New Year period, and we've made sure that these guys are as well.
Yeah, that's spot on. So make sure your agent is working through this period if you want to get a premium price.
Yeah,
But you've also got you can choose your lawyer on the back of that, and you can choose your broker on the back of that.
yeah.
Just because you don't want to come undone because there's no funding available for you to go and purchase something.
And
So
also, you'll
get
find
those ducks
most
lined up.
are, Mark. Like I know, for instance, I know HPL lawyers, we use them a lot. These guys are Northern Beaches based lawyers. They are available throughout the Christmas New Year period. Now, they actually are going to close their offices, but I know for a fact that there are lawyers there, solicitors there that are going to be available during that Christmas New Year period.
Yes.
And the same with mortgage brokers.
Yes.
So, again, guys, just reach out to us. But please, please, please do not worry this year about that Christmas New Year period. It's all been turned on its head. There is a mad buyer frenzy out there at the moment. And, I had a good hard think about why this year is so different at this time of year to all the other years. I reckon people are just getting prepped and ready for next year, Mark, in the event that we should go through the same cycle again of COVID, like what we did this year. They're going, you know what? We're going to be in our house. We're going to have a study set up. We're going to have a gym in the garage. We're going to have moved and be all ready and not knowing what 2021 will bring.
Can I bring a bit of excitement to this conversation as well?
Yeah.
Even
What do you mean? Isn't
even
this
more
exciting?
excitement to this conversation, I should say, is we've done all this heavy lifting in this economy and in this property market without overseas immigration and without overseas promotion
Yeah.
for Chinese or Americans or UK to move into this country. So I reckon if you think this is a hot property market, I reckon get ready for when we open those borders, those
Oh my
international borders.
God.
I think
Yeah.
we've looked pretty goddamn sexy from the other side of the world to here.
Oh,
If you're
wow.
looking over the fence, I reckon you'd
Absolutely.
be looking saying,
Yeah.
"Wow, they were
That's
organised."
one of the
Look,
smartest things you've said all year. That is absolutely 120% spot on. Australia as a country, how well have we managed? How well have we managed this situation? And if
yeah,
you were living in countries like America, I mean, we've got friends, Mark, that are living abroad, and
we've got friends. We don't just work.
we do have friends, but we've got friends that are living abroad, and they're all thinking about packing up and moving home. We've got friends of ours that are actually living over in Macau at the moment.
Yeah.
A friend who runs a very large casino over there, and they're just saying, you know what? As soon as we can get back to Australia,
Yeah.
that's where we're going to be heading to.
Australia's bringing sexy back.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
I reckon if you're looking at California's been nailed at the
Yep.
moment.
Europe.
I reckon they're looking a bit dirty at the moment, and I
Yeah,
reckon they're
yeah,
looking over at our borders, going good country, good education,
yeah,
safe island, beaches, good people, always had a good rep.
yep.
And I don't want to call it too early because hey, may be wrong, but at the
Yeah.
moment, guys, if we're holding our head high in this economy, in this property market, I get that we're getting into a lot of debt, but we're coming off getting out a lot of debt the last
Well, they
5 or
called a
10 years.
recession. I think that lasted for a matter of
Gone.
weeks, and then we came out of recession. But
we've got ourselves out of debt very effectively. So
yeah,
I think give ourselves. I know everyone's saying shit. The company's taking on a lot more. The country's taking on a lot more debt, but the country's paid back a shitload of debt for a shit long time. So I'm not worried about getting into debt over this. I think they can open up the international borders for education. They can open up the international borders for immigration. Very exciting property market. Watch this space. This
well,
is one spunky place to live.
hasn't it proved to be resilient?
Yep.
In all honesty, it literally got dropped on its head during COVID and bounced straight back up again. It has certainly proved to be resilient. People put it up there with, healthcare. Having your roof over your head, your haven, your safe place is such an important thing. Really, really interesting topic, guys. So, choose the agent that's going to be available and working hard for you over this Christmas New Year period. We are not closing. We are going to be available and working hard for you right throughout that Christmas New Year period. Market's crazy. Why not? If you are a seller or you know someone out there, guys, that is thinking of selling in the new year, tell them, get their property on the market right now. Trial the pre-market strategy that we offer. There's no risk with them, that's for sure. They never actually went onto those real estate portals. And I reckon that odds are they're going to get a knock your socks off offer pre-market, even if we launch them out to those real estate portals.
Yep.
There's so many buyers out there. You'd have to be crazy to not get your property out onto the market now.
Victoria's right as well. New Zealand's looked pretty goddamn sexy.
New Zealand's been amazing. They've got an incredible prime minister there.
Seriously,
yep.
I'm biased, but if I look at two countries worldwide and see champion efforts and how they ran, how they rolled through COVID, they're two really cool countries.
Without a doubt.
And that's going to be enough incentive when I've got a small family or I'm retired or whatever I want to live. We're the lucky country.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, I think that's it. What else we've got to cover?
I think we're operating. We got Christmas coming. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
We're operating hours are normal. Rentals is pumping, and there's also necessity for people. We're putting roofs over people's heads. So for rentals or for sales, give us a call.
That rental market's crazy
times
as well, guys. It is crazy. Landlords, that's another one. Landlords, listen up. Ask your agency, are they available and operating over the Christmas New Year period? Because guess what? The rental market on the northern beaches is astronomical in comparison to other areas of Sydney. We've got friends that operate real estate agencies in the eastern suburbs, and they're not doing half the trade that we are. So I think what a lot of people are doing, Mark, is I reckon they're coming over, they're renting a property on the northern beaches.
Yeah.
They're just dipping their toes in and testing what the area's like. Makes good sense, right?
Tree change.
And seeing if they like it before they're actually putting money down to buy property here. So our rental market's also gone through the roof.
Yep.
Guys, if you're sitting there, landlords out there, if you're sitting there with an empty property, ask your agent, are they going to be available and working for you over the Christmas New Year period?
That kills
me. Now, wait,
let me finish.
See that. Because if they're not, you need to seriously consider changing agencies. I'm not joking. And switching is easier than you think. It's actually
they're going to close for 2 weeks. Some of these puppies.
Yeah.
Some of these agents in the rental market.
No one wants to be without rent for 2-3 weeks.
No, your property's going to be vacant. Tenant moved down on the 10th or 12th or 15th of December.
Yeah.
Your agent says goodbye on the 21st or whatever December. It doesn't come back till like the 12th.
Yeah.
And your property's been vacant that whole time.
Vacant.
It's not right. You've chosen the wrong agent.
And you're still paying no doubt you're still paying a mortgage on that as well.
Yep.
So, but switching, and I know we're just getting a little bit off topic here, switching your managing agent
very clever, Lisa,
is much easier than you guys actually realise. We do it all for you. And don't worry about the notice period that you've got to give to your managing agent. We'll actually pay that fee out for you so that we can bring it over and start servicing you immediately.
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you an example. I had a client that was actually tossing up whether or not to sell or continue renting the property out. I reviewed the property for her. It was a property in Dee Why, and she had a Surrey Hills agent managing it. I reviewed that rental that she was getting, and it was actually $100 a week out.
Yep.
So she should have been getting about $100 a week more, but the out of area agent didn't have their finger on the pulse with DY rents. Anyway, long story short, we brought the management over. It was all done within 24 hours. We paid out the management fees to the other agent. We did all the paperwork for them, brought it over. So, and those tenants unfortunately did give notice, but now she's getting an extra $100 a week in her pocket.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yep.
And we're not saying that the people that are taking holidays don't deserve these holidays, but
No,
we are
absolutely.
saying you have the freedom of choice as a landlord not to have your property vacant in the Christmas period if your agent is going away, or be able to sell your period if your agent is going away, even if you just shorten and give it to them over that period. And have a beautiful night. Maz Goddard, thank you, legend. Victoria,
hey, Victoria,
thank you. If we've missed anyone's comments, normally it's because we're across a couple of channels. Our apologies. We will respond and thank you for your comments in other channels after the show.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it. Thank you, guys. Hopefully that helped you out a little bit. So sell, sell, sell. Absolutely take advantage of this awesome market. We're available. We're working hard for you. $0 marketing strategy. Dip your toes in, test the market, and no doubt you're going to get an awesome price. And
if you want us to do a show based on something, just let us know. We're getting some really good content. People ask us to talk about a particular topic. We talk about it. So let us know.
See you guys.
See you, beautiful people. Bye, 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 bye.